to like to do is I like to look at facts. And when you look at facts, in fact, facts you cannot dispute. You can dispute the solution or what do I want to say? The theory that you arrive from using those facts, but you cannot dispute facts. And here is a fact, and this will have me called countless names. Of the 195 people killed in the city of St. Louis, let's identify them by race. Out of the 195 people killed in the city of St. Louis, 3 of them were Asians. 3 of them were Hispanics. And 11 of them were white. The rest of them were black. 178 of the 195 people, homicides in the city of St. Louis, were black. Let's look at that fact. If I were to say, in the city of St. Louis last year, we had, 11, 6, and 6. We had 11, 6, and 6. That would be, come on, Strong, do the math. 23 murders in the city of St. Louis. That's all the non-black murders, okay? And my numbers are probably off. I'm bad at math in my head when I have to put more than 2 numbers out there. But the vast majority of them were black. If you take the black victims out of the equation, the city of St. Louis is one of the safest cities in the country. If you put black homicides into the equation, the city of St. Louis comes close to the murder capital of the country. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. What does that even mean? Okay. Is it a black thing? How could you say no? You have to say yes. Now, don't get me wrong here, okay? Don't lose me here. I'm going to explain this. This is a whole thing with a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not necessarily a square. What do I mean by that? It means the overwhelming majority, basically all homicides in the city of St. Louis were black. But that doesn't mean all black people in the city of St. Louis are involved in homicides. Quite the contrary. If you think I'm being racist, you are so wrong. I'm just stating facts. And while you may be entitled to your opinion, and you certainly are, your opinion is just wrong. And I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. If you think I'm being racist, if you think I'm 100% wrong, if you think I'm just wrong for even stating these facts, contact me, jamesstrongshow@hotmail.com. I will let you on the air with me to give your side of the story. That's how strongly I believe in this, okay? Also, by the way, I don't believe I'll get any takers because I will insist on having a discussion, not a name-calling session, okay? Now, is this a black thing or a problem for everyone? Well, it's both. If I'm black, I'm looking and saying, what the heck is going on here? If I'm white, I should be saying that, but I'll tell you what a lot of white people say. I don't live in the city of St. Louis. Who cares? A lot of white people say that. And by the way, a lot of black people say that too. I've talked to black people who said, yeah, it's black on black crime, but you know what? I don't live in the city. That's why I don't live in the city. I live out here in the suburbs. I don't want to live there. So it is a black thing and it isn't a black thing. What if, let's turn this around a little bit and not talk about homicides, but what if virtually every person who died of COVID-19 were of a certain race? Would we avoid discussing that? Well, of course not. We'll say, well, virtually all the people dying of COVID-19 are black, or they're Asian, or they're white. We would be looking as to why the heck is this happening? Why is this a race thing? Now, I will also say that I have no idea what the answer is. I don't know what the answer is, but I know what the answer is not. This murder rate, this homicide rate, that is just virtually 100% dominated, not 100%, nearly 100% dominated by black victims, black homicide victims. It's not because there's no good jobs in the city. That's not the reason. It's not because the schools in the city are bad. That's not the reason either. It's not because whitey's got their jackboot on their neck. It's not because of racism. It's not because of that at all. It's not because the man is keeping you down. It's not because cops in your community are bad. It's not because there's too many people buying guns out there, legally, by the way. It's none of these. Absolutely none. And don't pull the, hey, you don't know me because you're not black. Because if you say that to me, I will say, well, then you don't know me because you're not white. This is an observation. So many of our black brothers and sisters, you figured this out. In fact, many, no, most, no, the overwhelming majority, virtually all black people have figured this out. They don't shoot one another. They're not shot by one another. And they live in the same community with bad jobs and bad schools. And I'm not saying racism doesn't exist, but the black man doesn't shoot the black man because of racism, okay? The man's not keeping you down, so you do this. It's not because of bad cops, because virtually all black people experience the same thing. And they're not killing one another. It's just some, for whatever reason. Now, did I stir you up? Good. I hope to have stirred you up because this needs to be discussed. Did I make you angry? I'm sorry if it did, but it still needs to be discussed. Did I make you feel bad because you interpreted my statements as hurtful or even hateful? If yes, please understand, dear listener, this was never my intention. But the facts are facts. They're what they are, and they should be used to right the wrongs and fix the problems. We can all exceed in this country, all of us. Absolutely, positively, every one of us. So I wanted to call this last number these last numbers to your attention, okay? Not to point fingers, not to race bait, but just to say, look, here are the numbers. St. Louis is one of the most violent, murder-ridden cities in the country. But if you take out the black homicide victims, which, by the way, the city of St. Louis is virtually 50% black, 50% white, within tenths of a percentage, okay? So it's not most shooting victims are black because most St. Louisans are black. That's not the case. Okay? But most people have figured it out. It's not a race thing, but it has to be addressed. And everybody can succeed. Everybody. Now, case in point, I will part with this statement. Maybe the most controversial of the whole podcast. I'm starting out from restoring a Jaguar to talking candidly about race. What if I told you that not only can you succeed, anybody can succeed, but what if I told you the richest man in the world is an African American? By the way, that's a fact. The richest man in the world is an African American. An African American has acquired more wealth than anyone in the whole world. That African American, by the way, Elon Musk. Now, dear listeners, put that in your hat. Put that in your pipe, I should say, and smoke it. That's it. I'm done. I'm going to have a good rest of the day. I hope you have a good rest of the day, too. JamesStrongShow@hotmail.com. That's the email address. Send me your questions, your comments. I'd love to hear them, and I do answer all emails. Some contact me via messengers, some send me texts, some send me emails. I respond to all of them, and I love to hear you, each and every one of you. That's it. We're done. Until next time, this is James Strong saying adios.